What if tomorrow you woke up and just like that, you had the body you've always dreamed of? Your health was on point, energy levels were high, and your confidence, through the roof. Completely Possible Fitness wants you to know that it's possible to change your life and make your dreams come true. We specialize in weight loss, muscle building, functional training, group exercise, and nutritional advice. Don't let another day go by not having exactly what you want. Contact Copo Fit and let us help transform your life. Copo Fit is on all social media, or you can email us at copofit@gmail.com. That's COPOFIT@gmail.com. Do you love drama as much as I do? Plot shifts and heart-pounding turns will keep you enthralled in the new book, Soiled Sheets by Phoenix Ash. Dana and Marshall are drawn to each other, but their flame has a tendency to burn and splinter all that once mattered, quite possibly even each other. Will they make it through the debris or become part of the ruins? Find out when you purchase your copy of Soiled Sheets by Phoenix Ash, now available via Amazon Books and all Kindle devices, and it's free with Kindle Unlimited.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at?
Well, actually, I live in Delaware now, so does that make me a Delawarean?
Sing it, girl.
You know, Beyonce is my friend in my head. Jay, my people sometimes too.
Yeah. I mean, like, be true, man.
You know, when I was a kid, I had an imaginary enemy. Like, does that make me crazy?
Life as P, presented by Say What Radio.
Hello, welcome back. This is Life as P. I say welcome back to my frequent listeners. Thank you for spending your time with me. I appreciate you. If you are a new listener, thank you for giving me your time. I appreciate your time as well. So if you've listened before, you know that, and by the way, I'm Phoenix Ash, and this is Life as P. So normally what I do is I go through my thoughts for the week and sort of put together what I believe is a theme and discuss it with you guys, or share it with you guys rather. And then the discussion usually takes place in my inbox or text message or however you're reaching out to me. So this week I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about self-esteem. And we didn't start off with talking about self-esteem. We were talking about getting facials and doing things to our face. And I talked about how I invested what I thought was a pretty penny in laser treatments. And I was getting this package, and I'm still getting the package and making these appointments. And she was debating whether she should go forth with this package that was offered to her. It wasn't for laser. It was for dark spots and acne. And it was something that she always wanted to do, but she found it to be a little costly and was really just thinking about, was it going to be worth her investment? She had a trial period, which she did enjoy the trial, but still wondering if she should go forward with the package. And at first it was like, it's two different pieces of packages, and we're thinking, maybe you could do one and not do the other. But then I thought about it and thought about my reasons for investing in laser. And I was like, you know what? If getting this stuff done to you is going to make you feel, or help you feel good about yourself, you should invest in your self-esteem. And I'm not saying go out there and have Botox, but you know what? If Botox makes you feel good about yourself, go ahead and have the Botox. If getting butt injections makes you feel good about yourself, then so be it. That's not the things that's going to make me feel good about myself. Those aren't the things that I hold high in standard for my life, but I got a big butt, so I'm not worried about that. But, and I would say whatever you're going to do, try to do it as safely as possible. Don't basically invest in killing yourself in order to get this stuff done. But if there's a place where people are doing it legally and are experts at what it is they do, and you have a little wiggle room to invest in this thing, I would say invest in your self-esteem. And it got me thinking about how much investment do we actually put into our self-esteem. We hear people talk about it all the time, about you should think highly of yourself, or, this person has low self-esteem, they don't think very much of themselves, or they walk with their eyes to the ground, and you should look people in the eye, and you should keep your chin up, and you should look to the sky. But we say it as though that is a natural thing. And if you are someone who is struggling with self-esteem, those things aren't natural to you. So you have to make an active investment in your self-esteem, whether it be lifting up your chin, or clearing your skin, or getting braces for your teeth, or losing 5 pounds, or losing 45 pounds. You have to make the investment in your self-esteem. I sometimes look at myself in the mirror and I remember the times where I shied away from a mirror, or when I preferred to wear turtlenecks because I had this shadow of my neck. And, people would joke about other people and say like, yeah, she's like a dude or whatever. And I would cower in the corner and not say anything because I knew that I had hair that grew on my chin, and it was a lot. I have PCOS, which is a medical condition called polycystic ovarian syndrome, And one of the side effects at times is rapid hair growth in places that we don't want rapid hair growth. And because one of the ways that you can tell you have PCOS is a high level of testosterone in you for a woman. And I have that. So I had always been embarrassed, and I'm really, really fair skinned, and my hair is dark. I have naturally dark hair. And so when it grows in, it shadows beneath my skin. I had not just a mustache, it was on my chin. And then as I got older, it spread to my neck, and then, my sideburn. It was just ridiculous. And no, I didn't have no full on beard, but I also don't know what it would have looked like had I just let it go. Plus my natural hair is curly, so I'd have just been a nappy bearded dude walking around. So, and this is my second time investing in laser. I did so many, many years ago where it was much cheaper, but I got many less sessions with that one. But I had to discontinue because I kept getting pregnant, and you can't have it while you're pregnant, or I was intending to get pregnant as well. So I had to stop while I was intending. So now that I have my miracle baby and I am getting my life all the way together and do not intend on being pregnant anytime soon, I can continue with my laser treatments. But this is an investment in my self-esteem. I smile differently in pictures when I don't have to worry about the shadow that's on my neck. I look people in the eye more often. I speak more confidently. I'm looking forward to meeting people, to shaking their hands. I'm not afraid when I go to Miami, or when I go to Hawaii, or when I go to wherever, to go to these conferences and to meet all these wonderful people and to network and build with these people. I don't shy away and think about, well, they're probably looking at all the hair on my face, or they're trying to figure out why I don't do anything more to tame it, despite the fact that I was getting waxed, despite the fact that I was shaving, I was plucking, I was doing everything possible. I have been through all types of different hair removal systems, creams. There was this one thing, it was like an eraser. You used to just rub it out. Oh my God, that thing was so painful. but I was trying to do anything just to get rid of it, and I couldn't figure out what to do to make it not come back. And I was doing these small investments, $5 here, $15 here, and it wasn't doing anything. And so laser, although it was a big chunk of change up front, it helped me reclaim my confidence. It helped me build myself up when I look in the mirror. And yes, it's vain. You look in the mirror and, oh, you shouldn't worry about what people think. You shouldn't worry about what you look like. But I do. do. And that's the realest I can tell it to you. I do. I would like to say, oh, I love myself. And I do love myself. I love everything about myself. But that doesn't mean that I can't have some improvements. It doesn't mean that I don't want something to be a little less this or a little more that. It doesn't mean that. I do love myself. I don't love the hair that grows on my face. I don't enjoy looking at it. I don't enjoy feeling it. It be itching. I don't like it. But, in general, even if it's not something that's necessarily cosmetic, I want to get teeth whitener, yes, that's cosmetic. But even if it's something that's not cosmetic, when I think about my journey through writing and I think about me deciding to put on hold all my queries, reaching out to other companies or reaching out to agents to try to get a publishing deal or even a screenwriting opportunity, when I decided to put that on hold to pursue my own publishing dreams and make it happen for myself, I believe that was an investment in my self-esteem. When I talk about writing or when I talk about the books I've written or the stories I've told, I feel differently. I feel more confident. I feel as though I've been through some things. I've gone through the trenches. I've done my research. I've worked in an aspect of the business that I feel like I'm beginning to truly understand. And I say beginning because I'm sure that there's a wealth of information that I haven't gotten to yet, but I'm starting to feel like I kind of know what I'm doing, or I kind of know. Listen, I never thought that a year and a half after I pursued my writing journey full time, that I would be in a position to turn a deal down. Now, I was offered a publishing deal by this wonderful woman and we gelled very well through conversation. But given the things that I had already done for myself, the deal was not the best deal for me. Actually, when I started to do the math, it seemed like I could possibly lose money on the deal. I could make less than what I was doing for myself, and nobody wants to do that. So that wasn't going to work for me. But never in my wildest dreams did I think about it would only take me a year and a half to get to the point where I wasn't so thirsty for a deal that I would take whatever was handed to me or whatever was plopped on the table in front of me. And that is due to the things that I did for myself. And that was the investment in my self-esteem when I decided that I was not going to wait for someone else to validate me, for someone else to say, yeah, girl, I think you're talented. I'd like to take you on as a client. When I decided, yeah, girl, I think you're talented and I'm going to invest in you. I'm going to give you the time. I'm going to give you whatever resources I can. And we're going to work with whatever little bit we got, but we're going to get some of this done. And when I even walk into interviews, when I take on contract jobs or I'm having discussions with people, I have a whole new confidence when I talk about writing. I don't have to say, well, I always wanted to be a writer and I'm aspiring to be a writer. And one day I'd like to be an author. And one day I'd like to put some scripts together, because I've done it. I've done it. And I've done it on my own timetable. I've done it to a standard that I believe is a great standard. And every day I raise that standard. I see my writing getting better. I see me making time for reading because I actually think about reading as an investment in my self-esteem, not to compare myself to other writers to say I'm better than, but the fact that I'm reading, the fact that's part of my research. What kinds of stories are out there? What kinds of stories do people want to hear told? What kinds of stories do I like? And am I telling the stories that I like? And how do I connect? And how do I work with other people? And are these authors that I'm reading, are they people that I want to work with in the future? And, what's the design? Let me look at that. And so when I talk and I conduct a workshop or have a conversation over the phone, or I'm interviewed, or someone's writing an article on me, I feel as though I'm worthy, because I feel as though I've done my research, I've done my work, I put the work in. But the work was not only an investment in my dream, it was not only an investment in my future, future achievements, but it was an investment in my self-esteem. It was an investment in how I was going to feel about myself. And a great way, it's almost like a shortcut to self-esteem, is accomplishment. At least for me, once I start accomplishing things, I feel good, I stand straighter, my back is strong, and I'm like, what? I did that. Yes. And I'm going to do it again. And the next time I do it, I'm going to do it better. So if you've read anything from me, if you've read In Her Makeup, Soil Sheets, and you've enjoyed it, watch out. Because there's more, and it gets better. It gets better, okay? And I can say that with confidence without feeling like, oh, I got to do some disclaimer and tell somebody, oh, I'm not being conceited, or I'm not trying to sweat myself, or I'm not trying to toot my flute. Call it what you may. But I know I've done my work. I know I've done my research. I know I've invested my time. I know that I've put in an investment in my self-esteem. And by golly, I'm going to be feeling good about it. I'm going to be confident with it. You're not going to take that from me because it was my investment. You didn't invest in it. So you can't take it away from me. And for the people who purchase my books, I love y'all. Thank you. And I love the feedback. I love good or bad where people ask questions, or why didn't you end it like this? Or why did you leave it like this? And I love the discussion, the back and forth. I can talk all night about writing and about a particular story because when I dream a story, I dream all the back ends and the answers to why this and why that, why this person did this and why that. So I love all of that. Continue to reach out to me on Twitter or on Instagram at PWrites. I love to talk about that, but I feel better talking about that because of the investment I made in my self-esteem. And this is what I want for my village and for the people who are around me. For you guys, I want you to think about what investments you're making in your self-esteem. How are you making sure that you continuously feel good about yourself? All the time that you're thinking about, and this kind of goes back to last week's show when I was talking about you don't have to be so realistic when you're thinking about your dreams. A lot of reasons why we scale back what it is that we want for our lives or what it is that we dream up for ourselves is because we don't have the self-esteem or the confidence. We don't have the belief in ourselves that we can accomplish this miraculous thing. But you were created miraculously. So yeah, it was through man and women, but you know, me being a woman who has lost a lot of pregnancies through either preterm labor or miscarriages, I understand that just because man and woman get together, it is not a simple equation that it makes baby. It's not. There's so many things that can interrupt a pregnancy before you actually take your first breath. And then when you think about being a black woman or black man or Native American or Hispanic in a country where we're still fighting for equality, there are so many things that can take your breath away before you even put together the thought of what it is that you want to do with your life. So every day that you make it, you're a miracle. Every day that you're breathing, you have conquered some obstacle. Life in itself, every day is an obstacle that you've conquered. All the days behind you, however many days you have behind you, you've conquered each and every one of those days because you're breathing today. You've conquered them all, and you won't rest until there's no more need for you to conquer. So rest assured that as long as you're breathing, there's still stuff for you to conquer. So invest in your self-esteem. Think about what it is that you want to feel. Think about what it is that you'd like to do with yourself, or who you want to be for yourself, for your family, for your friends, and what would make you, if you accomplished certain things or if you became this certain person, how would you feel about yourself? And if you feel that that's your best version of yourself, then make the appropriate investments in it. Listen, I'm at the end of these laser treatments. I'm trying to figure out what kind of budget I need to put together so that I can get the one-offs. You know how, like, I was watching back in the day when I was watching Kimura and she was getting the laser under her arms, and I was like, oh, I probably should do that. But I was thinking about my face at the time, and that was years before I actually made the investment in it. And I'm like, why did it take me so long? There were multiple times that I could have afforded it. And then, of course, when I'm dead broke is when I'm thinking thinking about it like, I should have did this with my money. Because at least it was something that is going to leave me with something feeling good. And, you can listen to whomever who can tell you that that's false self-esteem. But I need to look at myself in the mirror, and I don't believe that that's false self-esteem. I think that that is a better version of myself, the version that I'd like to see. So I'm going to invest in trying to maintain the version I'd like to see. I do, dislike seeing a lot of women with a whole bunch of, medical changes to them because, I feel sad. I'm like, oh my God, they didn't like what they were already looking like, so they felt they had to do whatever. But, I try very hard not to pass judgment on those types of people because I don't know what they were feeling. I don't know what demons they were fighting, and I don't know if those demons still exist for them. I can't assume that, and she the same person, girl. She's still struggling. She's still having them same fights. I don't know. I truly don't. I don't know what your issue is. I don't know if your issue still exists. I pray that if you had that much financial investment in making these changes to yourself, that whatever issue you were trying to cover went away. I do pray. I believe in investing in therapy. I think that is also an investment in your self-esteem. Invest in your therapy. Talk to a therapist. You don't even have to have anything going wrong in your life. Get a therapist, somebody to bounce stuff off of who is not jaded by your whole past, or doesn't feel like they have a whole ton to gain from your future, or not looking to capitalize on the fact that you're staying the same. You want someone who can be objective, who can ask you some questions and force you to take a deep dive into yourself and ask yourself some questions so that you can fuller understand yourself. If that makes sense to you, go on with it. It don't make sense to me. But so you can better understand yourself, because I also think that is a route to self-esteem, to better understand yourself, understand where it is you're trying to go and how you're trying to get there, and then give yourself credit for the steps that you've taken. Give yourself credit for the work that you've done thus far. Pat yourself on the back for making it this far, and then after you pat yourself on the back, push yourself to go forward. Do that. But think about what it is that would cause you to have a higher self-esteem, or ways that you could cause yourself to have a higher self-esteem. Again, if you don't know what would make you feel better about yourself, start with a therapist. Nowadays, I think they have like apps and, little things that you can do online, or if you have a company that has like an employee helpline or whatever, sometimes they have, is it called EAP? I think it's called EAP. But, there's programs, there's stuff that you can talk to someone, you might want a life coach. What is it? Confessions of a Workaholic is a good podcast to listen to, if you're someone who's an entrepreneur or trying to pursue some type of dream or some type of goal. You may want to listen to podcasts like that to try to push you. She's very spiritual in terms of her foundation, so I definitely appreciate that. But, do whatever it is that you need to do to feel good about yourself, short of hurting someone else. If you need to curse someone else out, or if you need to belittle someone else in order to feel good about yourself, that might say that your issue is a little deeper than you think it is, and you need to go back to my first suggestion, which is the therapist. So, but anyway, that is basically what I wanted to talk about today. I thank you for your time. If you want to pick up any of my books, Long Neck Bottles is available on Amazon, Kindle, as well as Audible. So if you don't have time, if you're driving in a car, maybe you got an hour commute and you're on a train, you want to listen, pick that up on Audible. It's dope. You can get In Her Makeup as well as my novel Soil Sheets. They're both available on Amazon and Kindle. In Her Makeup is going to be on Audible soon, so look out for that. I'm so excited. I just reviewed the files submitted by my narrator, so I'm super excited about that. And I'm working on part 2 to Soil Sheets, so that's to be released sometime this year. I have no idea when, but it's coming. Again, if you want to get at me, please reach out to me on Twitter at PWrites or on Instagram at PWrites. I'm Phoenix Ash on Facebook. Until the next time when we can exchange our power. Peace.